Come in, you all, in my southern accent, come in and hit the share button. Let's talk about the greatest wealth transfer in the greatest wealth transfer in human experience. And let me log out of Facebook because I'll keep getting those pop-up notifications. So China's president, upon meeting with Russia's president, and I don't want to badger their names, so I'm not going to try to pronounce the names. Um, told him during the meeting that this is going to be the greatest financial transfer, the greatest financial changes, people in 100 years. Says changes are coming in 100 years. So what does that mean for the United States dollar? This is the financial change. What does it mean for the upcoming weeks? As I have been telling you all that we know that Fed coin is coming. What is Fed coin? Well, it's central banks digital currency, CBDCs. President Biden has already signed that into law, already signed that into um, office, to be executed order. It's already done. It's just a matter of time. Also, if you've been keeping updated, Disney World laid off. Let me give me 1 second. 7,000 employees, people that's 7,000 employees, right before the summertime, right before it is summer vacation, travel season for a lot of families. And so, I don't know about you, but I'm definitely questioning that. I'm definitely um, wondering, does Disneyland know something, right? That the mass majority of Americans or this economy, people in this economic system, what are they preparing for economy wise? So let me show you this video clip of the meeting, China's president with Russia's president. This is reported by
if these emerging.
So here we go. Let's break this down and dissect it. Again, you all come in, hit that like and share button.
State exactly how catastrophic the abandonment of the U.S. dollar would be. As
Putin announced this week that Russia will begin using the Chinese yuan for international payments instead of the dollar. Saudi Arabia is also in talks with Beijing to do the same thing. Speaking of Saudi Arabia, meanwhile, they're in talks with Iran as well to consider an economic alliance with China and Russia. And they can even be joining the BRIC countries, which is an acronym for these countries here, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. These countries all have emerging economies. So what happens if our economy and the U.S. dollar are no longer the world's dominant currency? Former Assistant Treasury Secretary and host of the Monica Crowley podcast, Monica Crowley, is here to weigh in. Monica, great to see you this morning. Let's start right there. What happens if these emerging economies move away from the U.S. dollar towards the Chinese yuan?
Well, good morning, Will. It's great to be with you. And it's really hard to overstate exactly how catastrophic the abandonment of the U.S. dollar would be as the world's global reserve currency. Look, since the end of World War II, the dollar has been the safe place to go, and it's been backed up by a couple of things. It originally was backed up by gold, but President Nixon took us off the gold standard, so there's no hard asset backing up the dollar anymore for the last 50 years. But also it's been backed up by the strength and economic power of the United States and the fact that oil has always been traded in dollars. If that were to end, that would mean the end of the U.S. dollar. Look, there is a perfect storm happening right now, Will. The world's reserve currency being that, having that status has been a real privilege, but we've abused the privilege by wholly reckless monetary and fiscal policies over many years, certainly over the last couple of years, which has really devalued the dollar. On top of that, now you do have this perfect storm of Biden's weakness, his war on American domestic energy production, the Ukraine war, and as you point out, because of all of these things, we've got America's enemies led by China forming a new economic bloc. And all it would take at this point now, because we're at this
I'm going to pause for 1 second. It's just a force of habit. I am a former basketball coach, and I understand when watching and dissecting film, what you can assume a person can pick up and see, they don't. So you have to pause and teach, right? Stop, pause, teach. So whenever my team, we would watch our films, whether we won or lost a game, I always had to stop, pause, and teach and point out, right? And so that's still in me, won't ever go away. Thank you, Bernard. Bernard, you left a comment. What's the name of the company so we can research? Okay, I don't know who we is, but if you want to research, then text CC to 331 444-5556, and I will definitely text you that information. Thank you for joining the live stream, and everyone else, hit the thumbs up. So one thing that this brought out, right, is that the dollar has always been backed or linked or supported by a hard asset. That's number one. Number two, everything that I've been educating you all on about 1971, President Nixon removed the dollar from the gold standard, the convertibility to gold. It was a very underlying reason why he did that. Spain was on their way to the United States in their warships to redeem their gold. Right? There's no gold in Fort Knott anyway, but that's something that people believe. That's something that the government has put out there, and well, the United States didn't have the gold. Right. Another thing that this video did not bring out is that the global reserve currency is also that way. Right. Then 3 years later, it was known as the petrodollar, supported by Saudi Arabia, but it's known as the global reserve. It became the global reserve currency also because of the United States military influence or presence. Like either you accept this or you might have to deal with war. But now that they have, or you will deal with war, but now that they have BRICS nations, now they have Brazil, now they have the collaboration of these other countries that was also brought out. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Also, you have Saudi Arabia. And they said Iran may join as well. Saudi Arabia has already joined, right? But it just said Iran may join, and they're already joined. Also, Operation Sandman. Operation Sandman is the collaboration and unification of 142 countries that will get together in unity and dump the United States dollar. So what do you do? Well, probably going to bring a World War III, more than likely bring a World War III in, because the United States is just not going to silently just go away and allow its dollar to be dumped, but it's going to happen. And in the midst of this, you're going to have economic turmoil and financial crisis. And the financial crisis is going to fall in the laps or in the hands of people that do not have assets. Again, this video breaks down and mentions the dollar was backed by hard assets. And likewise, people that do not have hard assets right now, or they do not have digital link assets that are connected to hard assets like the dollar used to be, are going to experience financial turmoil. There will be no more middle class. The wealth of the middle class will be wiped out. And if your only, I guess, wealth standard is cash, during the currency system reset, you're going to be wiped out. A great book that I would recommend that you read expeditiously, that means before July, is this book titled The Great Reset. Right? The Great Reset. I again recommend you read this expeditiously. For few people provide greater clarity on the importance of the place of knowledge-driven economic system. And so this is a very timely and thought-provoking book that gives us important insights about the reshaping of this global economic system. And this is why I have been faithfully informing people about hard assets and having digital dollars that are linked and connected to hard assets as well. So again, come in, you all, hit that thumbs up, hit the like button. Let's get more people in on this conversation, and let's rewind the video. Let's go.
Putin announced this week that Russia will begin using the Chinese yuan for international payments instead of the dollar.
Let me pause right there. They announced it this week that Russia will begin to use Chinese yuan versus the United States dollar. This is not something that's going to happen. This is something that has already happened. I did a live stream on, was it Sunday night, breaking down how the president of Kenya has already told his citizens to get out of the United States dollar. Told them, get out of it. You're not out of it. You're going to be at a loss. And this is the warning that I'm saying to a lot of the people that's watching my live stream right now. You can take heed of it or you cannot. The choice and the decision is, solely yours. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just giving you the information and the education to make your own decisions.
Putin announced this week that Russia will begin using the Chinese yuan for international payments instead of the dollar. Saudi Arabia is also in talks with Beijing to do the same thing. Speaking of Saudi Arabia, meanwhile, they're in talks with Iran as well to consider an economic alliance with China and Russia. And they can even be joining the BRIC countries, which is an acronym for these countries here, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. These countries all have emerging economies. So what happens if our economy and the U.S. dollar are no longer the world's dominant currency? Former Assistant Treasury Secretary and host of the Monica Crowley podcast, Monica Crowley, is here to weigh in. Monica, great to see you this morning. Let's start right there. What happens if these emerging economies move away from the U.S. dollar towards the Chinese yuan?
Well, good morning, Will. It's great to be with you. And it's really hard to overstate exactly how catastrophic the abandonment of the U.S. dollar would be as the world's global reserve currency. Look, since the end of World War II, the dollar has been the safe place to go, and it's been backed up by a couple of things. It originally was backed up by gold, but President Nixon took us off the gold standard, so there's no hard asset backing up the dollar anymore for the last 50 years. But also it's been backed up by the strength and economic power of the United States and the fact that oil has always been traded in dollars.
Okay, another thing right there, always been backed by gold. Oil has always been traded in dollars. And she said also backed by the strength of the United States economy. I also want you to take notation of 50 years. 50 years that was stated, right? 50 in the Bible always represents a jubilee. Jubilee always represents a currency system or a reset, right? Where slaves were set free to return to their homeland, where all debts were cleared. 50, again, represents a jubilee of a financial reset, that biblical number, right? A financial reset. So let's play.
If that were to end, that would mean the end of the U.S. dollar. Look, there is a perfect storm happening right now, Will. The world's reserve currency being that, having that status has been a real privilege, but we've abused the privilege by wholly reckless monetary and fiscal policies over many years, certainly over the last couple of years, which has really devalued the dollar. On top of that, now you do have this perfect storm of Biden's weakness, his war on American domestic energy production, the Ukraine war, and as you point out, because of all of these things, we've got America's enemies led by China forming a new economic bloc. And all it would take at this point now, because we're at this pivotal moment, Will, is for Saudi Arabia, who has indicated that they're open to this, to say, you know what, we're going to be open to considering other currencies to trade in oil. If that were to happen, there would be a complete implosion of the global economic system, but certainly the American economic system. And if that were to happen, you'd be looking at sky-high inflation, just raging Weimar Republic kind of inflation. If you think inflation is bad now, just wait. But more importantly, we would lose our economic dominance and we would lose our superpower status.
Monica, the world's reserve currency, you said it's a privilege for the United States for the dollar to have been the world's currency. How does that relate to each individual American? How has that changed or impacted or improved our lives throughout the last several decades?
Yeah, I mean, it's given the United States incredible dominance in the world in terms of the economic system and in terms of trade. It's kept prices down. So whether it's energy prices, whether it's your food prices, the entire global economic system is reliant on the safe and secure dollar. But that is no longer true, again, because we've been printing money like crazy and devalued the power of the dollar and the value of the dollar. But on top of it now, again, oil is the critical linchpin of this. If Saudi Arabia decides to join with America's enemies here and start trading oil in different currencies, that is going to undermine the entire global economic system. And here
Okay, let's get this straight. Saudi Arabia has already joined. They've already joined. Why do you think when Obama took office and everything, Obama got into office, they went for Saudi Arabia and bin Laden? Saudi Arabia already joined. That's done data. That's a done deal. But let's go.
and devalued the power of the dollar and the value of the dollar. But on top of it now, again, oil is the critical linchpin of this. If Saudi Arabia decides to join with America's enemies here and start trading oil in different currencies, that is going to undermine the entire global economic system. And here at home, you know what it's going to mean for us? It's going to mean raging inflation, so much worse than anything we have ever experienced, Will. And I'll tell you, they're setting it up so that they can then come to the rescue by introducing central bank digital currencies. If they were to do that, and the United States already has a pilot program, that means the loss of your individual economic freedom, because the government will have total access and control of everything you buy and sell. And
let me pause right there. That means control of your economic freedom. The government, when central banks digital currency implemented in July, and usually because I'm a cryptocurrency educator, people will come on my live streams a lot and they will ask me, Queen, what cryptos do you recommend? Let me adjust my camera just a little bit. I recommend the cryptocurrencies. They're going to keep you outside of the government system. That's what I recommend. Because this is what most people plan is, right? They come on my live streams. Oh, get into SDC, right? I'm not giving you financial advice. And I always wonder, like, why were the people that comment, the cryptos in my comment section, why aren't they doing their own live stream on their platform, educating about it? If they were, so astute about it, and go just do your own live stream, right? You have a YouTube channel, or get into XRP, or get into XLM, or get into Algo, or get into Polygon or Polymatic. I'm not Ethereum, whatever the price, right? I'm not disputing ADA. I'm not disputing that any of those cryptocurrencies will have their place and their function in the new world economic system. However, this is what I am disputing. There's only one that's the king of crypto. You should ask yourself, when people flood my comment sections with advice about what cryptocurrency to invest in, you should ask yourself, why don't they mention the number one crypto? I very rarely see people say Bitcoin. And it is the number one, the dominating, the first, the most highly assessed in the United States value dollar wise right now. And I very rarely, I'm going to show it to you. I very rarely see someone that's dropping comments in my comment section say you should most definitely get Bitcoin. And that lets me know that they really don't have a thorough understanding of crypto. It is assessed right now, it's not valued at $27,346. And then you have Ethereum, second highest market cap, right behind it. Speaking of XRP, it's up 11 cents today. XRP, number 11. But I very rarely say, here, any of the crypto comments say Bitcoin. This informs me that most people investing in crypto is just for that, an investment, right? It is just for an investment. They want a quick flip. They want a quick flip, and they want to cash out to get back into the government system. Because you do understand when central banks digital currency comes, right, and you cash out, and if you don't have a plan, you're just going to get CBDCs. I don't care if it's $40,000 worth, $50,000 worth, $100,000 worth, a million. And that is not my objective when it comes to this new world economic system. I am not, for example, purchasing silver just to get back and cash it out and to get in the government's form of money. And so when people comment like this let me know that they don't truly understand the functionality, the purpose, and the mission of Bitcoin. So I'm going to break it down to you. Because my question is, how beneficial for you to be a crypto millionaire when you're just going to cash it back in for CBDCs? Because let's be honest, people are not using cryptocurrencies as a store of value. They want to cash out. They want to get back in the government's money. They want to get back when it changed to CBDCs. They want to put the money back in their bank account. And this is why I've been talking about cryptocurrencies that are linked to commodities that have the likeliness and the functionality of Bitcoin, that your money can grow faster because now you can mine these cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin is mined. You can mine these cryptocurrencies, and if you want to, you can then convert it into Bitcoin and liquidate it at the same time. So let's break down crypto synthetic assets, and I may show that video again towards the end. Now, you first have to understand what blockchain technology is to understand crypto synthetic assets. So blockchain technology, right, is a connected or in collaboration to what's called Web 3. Now, if you don't understand Web 3, then you have to go back to Web 1. What is Web 1? Well, the World Wide Web, WWW. So blockchain technology has its roots in Bitcoin. The technology is the exactly cornerstone of transforming this financial system. It makes it from a centralized blockchain technology. Let me emphasize this. Takes any crypto and makes it not centralized, and it transforms it to a decentralized system. What does that mean, Queen? That means that you have a greater opportunity for economic freedom. Many cryptocurrencies provide improved security, improved commodity. That's why the fight with XRP right now is XRP a security or is it a commodity? See, with this being said, like a traditional asset, Bitcoin can only be bought, borrowed, held, and sold like any other traditional asset, right? So with this being said, this is a new way, an innovative way of having a decentralized product. So a better financial system, right, of decentralized products is also called DeFi, decentralized finance. That means it's peer-to-peer concept, right? That removes the government, the US Treasury, a third party. It bypasses the middleman directly from the system. And this is the people that I'm looking to reach. Not people that's so excited about, yeah, I'm going to become an ADA millionaire, a XRP millionaire, a Shiba Inu millionaire, only to do what? Cash out and go right back into the government system? I'm stacking silver. I'm stacking gold. Why? because you want to go to a broker or a pawn shop and get cash money, you're right back in the system. That's like someone that has an addiction and they want to be free temporarily, right? Only to go back to whatever had them enslaved in the first place. So the other cryptocurrencies that I have been introducing to you all that's linked to real world commodities, they are synthetic assets. Now, traditionally, when you think about synthetic assets, they consist of assets with the same value as other assets. Like in the crypto world, synthetic assets are tokenized, right? They're typically what's called tokenized. And I'm going to introduce you all to what's called tokenized technology. Assets that value are derived from different assets are derivatives, right? Synthetic assets is what's this. That's the difference. So you have proof of work, you have proof of stake, and then you have synthetic proof of work. So you have these synthetic assets that are tokenized. That means that the people that get in at the entry level positions of tokenized crypto link assets like Bitcoin, that you enter at a level of entry level that's so low, right? If you position yourself and get in at the right time, that your future gains and or what's known as capital gains are so high that because you got in at groundbreaking prices, like getting in at Bitcoin when it was under a penny. And for a lot of people, that ship has sailed. And I've explained this so many times. Centralized said no one can stop it. No one can seize it. Like if you know anything about the Great Depression in 1930s, the government seized people's real money, which was gold. They took it. They said, either you have a $10,000 fine or 10 years in jail if you don't turn in the real money. And ever since then, most of the United States citizens do not know what real money is. They think it's cash. And so they are so cash driven that they're not commodity and asset driven. And so a commodity, most people think, is anything that comes from the ground, whether it's agriculture, wheat, oil, natural gas, right? Corn, crops. But silver, diamonds, pearl that come from the ocean, that come from underneath. But when it comes in the crypto space, a commodity is, first of all, it has no issuer, right? Our other tokens in this crypto world, except Bitcoin right now, have an issuer. Bitcoin is the only peer-to-peer. XRP issuer is Ripple right now. That's why Ripple is in court. Charles Hoskin is the issuer of ADA, for example. No one knows who the issuer of Bitcoin is. No one knows Satoshi. No one knows, and no one can. And so if you don't know, you can't stop what you don't know and what you can't see. And so decentralized means the government can't stop it. They can't confiscate it like gold was did in 1930s. And anyone can download and mine. Texas is real big right now for Bitcoin mining. A node or this software from any part of the world. And that the prices move or its value moves based on supply and demand. Can you say that about XRP that has an infinite supply? That's what makes Bitcoin so special, because every 4 years it has a halving. It takes a percentage of its Bitcoin out of circulation and it makes it more valuable. And Bitcoin is not the only crypto. Ethereum is set up that way. So when you are investing in cryptocurrency, these are things that you look for. This is what you study. And so let's look at the highest asset class right now by rank, by market cap. Would you believe it? The top assets by market cap right now, what ranks number one? It's gold. And Dave Ramsey, gets on his live stream and inform people that gold is not real money. It's just a shiny yellow metal, and such as Warren Buffett. But let me propose this to you. If it's not money, if it's not in the Constitution that gold is real money, if gold is not going to be used to reset this currency system as we move away from cash and get to crypto and digital, then why does gold right now have the largest market cap by assets? All right, let's look at the number 2. Number 2 is Apple. Let's look at what's the top ones. Apple, and then you have Microsoft. Technology-based companies with software. Technology-based company for software. Give me a second. Financial-based software. Software. This is what I've been talking about. Digital software that you can purchase to get crypto-linked commodities. Number 2 is Apple. Number 3 is Microsoft. Microsoft. Look at the software. Look at the technology. Look how valuable having access to software is. So these crypto backed commodities, or linked commodities rather, is just the purchasing of digital software that will help you create or get tokens that's not available on Coinbase, crypto.com. It's not available on Binance. It's not available anywhere on those exchanges. So you can call what's called crypto mining. That means you can accumulate the crypto and their coins at a low entry point for a higher future return. The 4th one is Saudi Aramco, or Aramco. I'm sorry, Saudi Aramco. I'm pretty sure this is I haven't looked that up. This is in Saudi Arabia. The 4th largest asset. This is having to do with oil, I'm sure, a commodity. You have the number 5 is silver. I've been telling you all that silver is the most undervalued asset in the world. And I still got people that come on my live stream and say, I got, somebody just said Litecoin, right? Which is about $80 a coin. I got this. Listen, do your own live streams. I'm not interested in what crypto that you have unless it has a commodity link to it. And I'm not on here to say that's good or bad choice. That's your choice. You stick with it. I'm just a crypto educator. Now you have Google, because 99% of these cryptocurrencies will go away. And only the ones that have real world assets linked to them are going to survive once the regulation is passed down the pipeline. And the one I know for sure that's not going anywhere is Bitcoin. For sure. Now you have silver, another tech company, software, Google, Amazon. It's just a warehouse where people can go. But look at the concept online, digitally. Berkshire Hathaway, we know Warren Buffett is in that. And look at the 11th highest. The 11th place, 11, I use the number 11 to teach and break down about wealth transfer, the number 11. It is Bitcoin. It's not any other crypto listed on here. Not any other crypto. But yeah, I have people that they will tell you they have everything except Bitcoin. My question to you is, why do you not have Bitcoin? I know why, because you don't understand crypto as thoroughly as you may think you do. You don't understand the power of Bitcoin. You don't understand the freedom of Bitcoin. You don't understand the decentralization of Bitcoin. You don't understand that synthetic assets. You don't understand, decentralized financing. Synthetic assets, cryptocurrencies connect to commodities, right? It disrupts the decentralized finances by opening up liquidity opportunities. Let me stop and pause right there. Why is that important? Because these cryptocurrencies are the ones that are compared to and have the likeliness of Bitcoin. And just like Bitcoin, they are the least talked about because people don't understand them. It's about 4,000 people getting in on this on a weekly basis. But in a couple of months, most people are going to know, and they're going to wish they got in at these entry points. In fact, some of them, which is Black Gold, Digital Link Gold, has taken a dip. Warren Buffett says you want to be rich, you always invest in the dip when it's blood in the streets. You won't believe how many people have told me, yeah, Queen, I got into Bitcoin when it was $69,000 at its all-time high. Listen, so when the dip comes, on paper, they have a loss. Now, I'm not telling people to get in Bitcoin right now at $27,000 because, hey, if you're not a 7-8 figure or higher income earner and you have a lot of cash to put into Bitcoin, that's not the most financial beneficial move for you at this point. You waited till you almost got priced out and you cannot afford it. Meaning you may get a 2 or 3x gain. And it's people that's going to need bigger gains than 2 or 3x, especially when inflation is going to be 8, 9, 10% or higher per month. So the creation of synthetic assets like these cryptocurrencies that have real world commodities linked to them, that Saudi Arabia is saying we're dumping the United States dollar for our oil. This is a commodities war and a commodities conversation. Nobody else is talking. They're not talking about Litecoin. They're not talking about Monero. They're not talking about, well, XRP is being talked about, but Ripple is being talked about more than XRP because Ripple is where only sophisticated investors can get. And so synthetic assets is made possible by smart contracts that allow the creation of debt, right? And exchange rates determined by the price of the demand of the asset that's connected with it. See, you want to know what makes XRP so powerful? It's not necessarily XRP, it's Ripple. It's the technology. You want to know what makes Bitcoin so powerful? It's not necessarily Bitcoin. It's the blockchain technology. And you want to know what makes these cryptos so powerful? It's both the technology, the blockchain technology, and the commodities. So with these cryptos, you have the best of both worlds. You have the smart contract system that's allowed the creation of arbitrary assets. Synthetic provides infinite liquidity. I don't think you all understand that. Infinite liquidity. What does that mean? Queen, let me change my screen. That means that whenever you want to liquidate this, you can liquidate these crypto commodities. If you have a family emergency, if you have a financial need, you can liquidate it and be temporarily back into the government system, right? And liquidate that into cash or what will be known now as central bank's digital currency, or even a stable coin. You don't even have to liquidate it into a stable coin. You can liquidate it into Tether, USDT, which USDT and frequent flyer miles is the greatest wealth transfer right now. Why? Because frequent flyer miles give you the opportunity to travel the world abroad, internationally, at a very low or affordable rate. These cryptocurrencies could be comparison to Delta Airlines member that gets to travel the world, fly first class, get the best seating, the best, service, the best maybe food or whatever is available on the flight, and travel the world internationally. These cryptocurrencies are connected on an international level. This is why I don't have low-level conversations with people about them. It doesn't bother me that you come on my live streams and tell me what cryptos you're invested in, but I don't care. Honestly, I really don't, because you don't get what I'm teaching. You're not understanding that we are moving to World War III over commodities. United States dollar has been the global dominance dollar since World War II. What was World War II about? It was about the petrodollar. It was about the oil. It's about Saudi Arabia. World War III is going to be the same thing. It's going to be a commodities war. So if these countries are fighting over commodities, why don't you have cryptocurrencies connected to them? Commodities are things that we use on a daily basis. We can't function without them. Even if they decided to go to electronic vehicles before 5 years or next year, right? Which it won't happen that fast, but let's just, use this scenario. Don't you know that crude oil is used in fertilizer for the very food that you eat? You need oil. Don't you know when you go to the grocery store, unless they have the brown paper bag, which is why whole food grocery stores do not even have plastic bag for the economy, is because plastic bags are made out of oil, fertilizer. You need oil for fertilizer. That should not be hard to grasp, because fertilizer is placed on the ground for growth, and oil comes from the in depths of the ground. It enriches the soil and makes our food and crops. So, I don't mean any harm, but if people got to do so much thorough research on commodities, the only thing in the Bible that was ever mentioned in connection to riches and wealth. In fact, in Genesis, it says Abraham was very rich in gold, silver, and livestock and land. God is not making any more land. My mentor said it this way: it does not make any sense to have 100% of man's money and 0% of God's money. If you don't understand that man cannot make commodities, and so it's always a valuable source in a wealth portfolio, you do not get it. And again, if your only desire to get in crypto is to cash out, or to get in silver, or to get in gold, is to cash out so you can now get back in the government system, you don't understand that as well. So many people they can't wait to invest in silver just so they can go and cash it out. You're going to get right back in the system. And speaking of silver, visit my website, milliemoves.com. Let me find it to show you where you can get free gifts if you accept the challenge package. The challenge is to save silver and save someone challenge for 90 days. You should stack as much silver as you can. And they have a mission in which they help feed children in poverty. And so you get these free gifts. One is a 24 karat gold foil note. One is a dollar certificate, silver certificate paper bill that was real money. That's a big thing. Like, this is a $20 value free gift. You're getting this silver certificate, people. It says silver. This is a real paper bill that was once real money before they put Federal Reserve notes on it. and made it a promise to pay the real money, which was silver and gold. See, before they changed and the U.S. Federal Reserve was implemented, the Federal Reserve decided they just wanted to give people a depreciating asset like cash and not give them the real money. They wanted to take the real money out of circulation, right? And then that's when people began to have to pay taxes. When the feds, they're not federal and it's not a bank. It's a collaboration of wealthy families like the Rothschilds and Rockefellers, right? It's 12 that your hard-earned tax dollars go to. See, your state taxes go to your local government to better your school system, to build better roads, highways, et cetera, et cetera. But your federal taxes do not go to there. This is why I tell people to legally, I don't do it illegally. I don't recommend a straw man, but to legally reduce your federal taxes on your paycheck so you can increase your take-home pay legally. And you can also find that information on millimoves.com as well. So that you're not overpaying in taxes and you're struggling paycheck to paycheck because of your tax liability that comes out of it, because it's not for what is advertised to be for anyway. Right? You can go to millimoves.com and find more information on that as well. And so I'm also doing a live stream on, I think it will be 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'm excited about this. It's a collaboration effort with two men who are definitely woke, and this is Women in Blockchain Week as well. And so have a special guest with a global influencer. All of us are in these crypto links commodity. So I want you to make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you can have access and get notification of when that live stream happens tonight. Again, 9 o'clock Central Standard Time, which will be 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And if you're on Mountain Time, I think that'll be 8 o'clock Mountain Time, and Pacific Time will be, you do the math, right? 6 o'clock Pacific, and Hawaii time, which I have a business associate in Hawaii. I think it'll be 5 o'clock HT time. Maybe I'm off. I don't know. But Warren Buffett, where the rich people putting their money, shakes off recession fears as he's piled another 2.16 million into petroleum stock. They're moving their money into commodities, into gold, into silver, into copper, into income producing asset. See, only synthetic assets, right? Only through synthetic assets is a liquidation formula that will always help you increase infinite liquidity, meaning that you can take out of the crypto and liquidate it. Again, if you have a family emergency, or if you need to just pull your money out, and it will continue to produce you perpetual income. Now, I want all the people that come on my live streams that drop crypto that they're investing in, I want you to answer this question for me. Do you have infinite liquidity? For everybody that comes in and talked about SDC, XR, because you follow your favorite YouTube, Ethereum, even if you're in Bitcoin, this is just a quicker way, a faster way, if you're in Bitcoin, to accumulate more Bitcoins. And I'm going to show you a short video on that. And so with this infinite liquidity, you can move between these cryptos, whether it's silver, which they will have a digital link silver, gold, and other assets, without having to hold or release your underlying assets, because this is a perpetual asset model, meaning that it will continue to produce these crypto commodities for a minimum of 10 years once you purchase the digital software mining licenses. And I just showed you the top assets by market cap. And the top number 2 under gold was Microsoft. Imagine if you purchased Microsoft before it was a penny and you had a certificate digitally and that you got royalties from everybody else that purchased Microsoft from here on out. And you got the capital gains of what the stock was worth. This is what I'm talking about. Only through blockchain technology can synthetic assets be created. They are freely transferable, freely tradable, right? And so this is what again, it is the blockchain technology that makes Bitcoin Bitcoin. Last thing, how to accumulate more Bitcoin, as I said. And is this the only crypto? No, this is not the only crypto that I have in my portfolio. But these cryptos, I am putting more cash into these because I get perpetual income stream. I can pull out whenever I want to, and it will automatically replenish itself because I purchased the licenses to do so. Thank you, Lady Di. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Thank you for being a new subscriber. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. So, Queen, how can I make my money grow faster? You told me about the power of having Bitcoin, but you also told me that at $27,000, I won't, I made 2 or 3 exit. That won't help me in a long, drawn out recession, or even if we go to World War III. Queen, I need my money to grow and multiply on the capital gains as fast as it can, as dependable as it can, not a meme coin, and on a continuity cash flow basis because I have income producing assets. All right, let's listen in. I'm going to let this video break that down and explain it to you.
Acquiring roughly 4,000 new people every week. And I remember when that number was only a couple hundred. I remember when it was only 30 or 40. It's just geometric at this point. So just talk about it, introduce people to it, tell them it's something to learn about, to educate themselves about blockchain, because I want to see people take advantage of this because it's the people that get in early that really stand to make the most benefit. And I feel bad for all the people that are waiting and waiting and waiting because they'll always stay waiting and they'll miss out.
Waiting, sitting on a fence.
Yeah. I've seen it over and over as a businessman, and it's sad. But you can't make people do stuff. Go ahead. Sorry.
Right. I know they created debt box like, Ethereum and Bitcoin, kind of like the same model, right? And so,
sort of,
as far as the economics, go ahead.
Well, it's synthetic though. That's where we have to be really careful. It's not proof of work. Yeah, go on.
Well, it's proof of work, not proof of stake.
It is, but it's not. So what it is it's a different protocol. There's 3 major consensus algorithms. The 2 biggest ones of are proof of work and proof of stake. Those are the most popular. But algorithm that's on the rise is ours, which is synthetic proof of work, because it's actually more ecological than the other options, because you create a predetermined number of nodes that people can utilize. And then that means you avoid the problem of hash creep, where people have to buy more and more servers, more and more powerhouses, which is why mining Bitcoin now, it is more valuable to you to own a node license and transfer it to Bitcoin than it is for you to mine Bitcoin right now.
So this is a big mining. This is a big opportunity to also mine Bitcoin with our nodes, because you could mine the coins and convert them right into Bitcoin.
You'd make your money back faster than buying a Bitcoin miner. Way faster.
Yeah, way faster. Wow, that's amazing right there. I believe I know this answer. I believe DebtBox started a year ago at a penny.
The debt token started at a penny, and everybody wanted to buy it. We were just starting to mine it, so there wasn't enough liquidity, and no one was willing to sell it. So they just held, and everyone's like, "This is worth."
It's just the coaching me. Let me rewind this and explain what he just said, right? I'd rather do it now than to prolong this live stream. about the synthetic proof of work and the proof of work and proof of stake. So let me rewind this and then elaborate on that.
Way faster.
Yeah, way faster. Wow, that's amazing right there. I believe I know this answer. I believe Debtbox started a year ago at a penny.
The debt token started at a penny, and everybody wanted to buy it. We were just starting to mine it, so there wasn't enough liquidity, and no one was willing to sell it. So they just held, and everyone's like, "This is worthless. Why did I spend $3,000 on this license?" They don't say that now.
I bet you they don't. And if they do, boy, I'm coming after you.
Oh, I've offered so many people. I'm
Give
like,
me,
you don't
give
want
me
your
your
license?
nose.
Oh.
Absolutely.
And I think the same will be true of Nat G very soon.
Hey, they call me Nat G Mance over here. All right. All right. So thank you so much, Kevin, for your question and your interactions here. I really appreciate your presence. All right. Let's go with Steve Niken. Steve, go ahead and unmute yourself, my friend. There you go.
All right, can you hear me?
Yep. Okay. Peace and blessings, Steve. How you doing?
I'm doing excellent. Nat G Mansa, thank you very much for letting me ask my question, and I appreciate your time here, Jimmy, as well as some of the other leaders here, Kevin, and everybody that's here making these kind of things happen for us, right? That's very important. But my question is, right, compared to the Black Gold Project, which he just explain the dynamics, with the halvings and the, percents, 4%, 2%, and that stuff. He said, now that's different than a lot of these other projects, right? Can you tell us something about these other projects that licenses are available, right? Like Grow, Aluminum, Explorer, right? And the value of those since they've been around already, besides Blocks and Bev, right? Can you tell us about that? Because I know the Grow token had a substantial gains already, right, in price, and then also the gold token, right, because that's a whole different dynamic. People don't understand that much because I guess it's paid in gold per grams or something like that. The tokens you can exchange it, because maybe tell us that, can you?
Sure. No, I'll tell you all about that. So right now, gold is on a 1-to-1. Okay, meaning as we mint gold from the mine and get it to international exchange, we allow the token to be minted. So a lot of people that have bought DLG, so you're aware, they're not producing at a high amount because there's a lot of international regulation, and it became a lot more difficult than they ever dreamed. So what they're doing is they're actually redoing the contract, and we're making it inflationary and deflationary. And this was voted on by all the DLG node holders. They voted 100% unanimous to change it.
Well, it's proof of work, not proof of stake.
It is, but it's not. So what it is it's a different protocol. There's three major consensus algorithms. The two biggest ones of are proof of work and proof of stake. Those are the most popular. But algorithm that's on the rise is ours, which is synthetic proof of work, because it's actually more ecological than the other options.
Okay, I think I rewinded. I was trying to get to that point right there. So he says synthetic proof of work. Now, proof of stake. What is proof of stake? Proof of stake relies on crypto mining or staking. Right? It's just exactly what it says. Stake. It relies on stake. It relies on crypto staking. While proof of work relies on crypto mining. Right. So this method, and this is, I broke down synthetic earlier about having synthetic assets, right? And that your leverage or synthetic just means it's similar to NFTs or ETFs, right? ETFs. I don't like ETFs. I like the real physical, tangible silver and gold, but ETFs is a way to invest in silver and gold through that stock market. But I don't prefer ETFs. But let's stay with the point. I like the physical. But similar to that, investors are, if you purchase the software license, you could create your own tokenized on the platform, right? and they provide a short, a long, or leverage exposure to people to real world assets. And this is what I'm talking about when it comes to the economy and crypto commodities, right? So they allow you to trade traditional assets and derivatives while yet having access to the digital world. Let me say that again. They allow you to trade, you get infinite liquidity, you can hold, you can continue to get more token. This is accumulation and growing, is not buying and holding like you do with other cryptos. And you get more, even if you need to liquidate, you can replenish that and have more coming in. And so you have, again, the best of both worlds, and you get leverage to real world assets that most people only in the futures market have. So we know Bitcoin is proof of work, right? Where it keeps these methods of new blocks and transactions. And so just like the flight lines, just like the Delta airline flights, right? Where you get mile, or you get these rewards, travel miles that's interchangeably, and you can go anywhere in the world, does not restrict you in the United States. Well, just like that, or just in comparison to this, you continuously to get tokens, right? And they are connected to all of these real world assets or commodities that's valuable in anywhere in the world. And that, as I showed the Fox video, you're going to see inflation like never before. But because you are helping to verify transactions on these blockchains, you are getting rewarded not only in the up return of the commodity itself, but you're getting rewarded with more tokens. I promise you, I'm a public school teacher. This is as simple as I can explain it. Yeah, token me. That's why everybody needs to understand about crypto commodities and accumulating tokens, not buying and holding, but accumulating and growing. And you're getting them right now for pennies on the dollar.
Because you create a predetermined number of nodes that people can utilize. And then that means you avoid the problem of hash creep, where people have to buy more and more servers, more and more powerhouses, which is why mining Bitcoin now, it is more valuable to you to own a node license and transfer it to Bitcoin than it is for you to mine Bitcoin right now.
Let me stop right there. He said it's more valuable for you to get a node license in these crypto commodities and convert it and trade it into Bitcoin than it is to mine Bitcoin. Why? Because Bitcoin's already at $27,000. That prices out most of the middle class, even the upper middle class, people that's making over $250,000 a year. Have you all ever asked yourself, this is off topic, on topic, like how can someone that makes $250,000 a year and $55,000 be considered the same asset class? Like, really? Did you all know that the average household income right now for a 3-family household is $55,000? That's not enough to make it through what we're about to go through. And because these are commodities and Bitcoin is a commodity, you get your money back faster to mine these than what you would Bitcoin.
To own a node license and transfer it to Bitcoin than it is for you to mine Bitcoin right now.
So this is the big mining. This is the big opportunity to also mine Bitcoin with our nodes.
Oh, yeah.
Because you could mine the coins and convert them right into Bitcoin.
You'd make your money back faster
right.
than buying a Bitcoin miner. Wait.
So make your money back faster, people. So, hey, if you say, oh, I wish I had more money, I understand the power of Bitcoin. I wish I had more money to get more Bitcoin. Well, this is a way to liquidate it because, in my opinion, if you're going to liquidate anything, if you're going to buy something to liquidate it, you don't need to be liquidating back into CBDCs or the government system. You need to liquidate it in the same or similar asset class. People, that just makes, to me, sense. Now you have the bigger asset class that will continue. It's predicted that Bitcoin will be a 6-7 figure asset that keeps you out of the government system. You don't even need to have a bank account. You can cash app people Bitcoin. You can have a Visa or MasterCard connected to that currency. Now, I will not use my Bitcoin as a currency. I'll use it as a store of value. But I would convert my crypto commodities into bigger assets. My plan is to acquire more physical real estate. Why is that? Because real estate, I save 2 ways: in taxes and getting taxed for my money and cash flow. And I get the cash flow. These crypto commodities, the same way. Most people cannot afford real estate right now. Real estate is priced out for most people to be home buyers. But the same way with these commodities, I get the cash flow and I get the accumulation that can bring me higher returns in the future at a very low entry price point. Now, I love silver. I love physical gold. I do. But you know, it just shines bright in the light. And for people, this is a silver fourth chakra coin. I love where I get my silver from because it's a combination of silver, which is God's money, an asset class, and an industrial metal, and artwork all in one. Most rich and wealthy people, they just invest in exclusive, expensive artwork. But I get the artwork. This is a Bitcoin silver, Bitcoin rocket, and the actual silver itself. But guess what? It does not cash flow. This is Queen Elizabeth. Anything with her portrait on it will be worth more valuable, in my opinion, because due to her death, there's no more money. And this is money that's being printed. Money sounds like this when you drop it. That's what money sounds like when you drop it. Not like, let me see. I got a Zimbabwe dollar somewhere. This is worthless. It's not like this. Did you even hear that? It's paper. It's a Federal Reserve note with a promise to pay you money in the future. Now, how are they going to pay you that money in the future? Not with the real money. Now, a lot of people believe in the siren, Jasira. No, they're not going to pay you with real gold and silver, only if your family was affected. They're going to pay you just like in, I think, California right now, they're offering reparations for Black families. I think 50 million or 5 million. They're going to, can't even hear that drop. They're going to pay you out with cash if your family, and I tell people this too, do you think the government actually going to give you gold and silver if your family was not a product of getting their gold and their money confiscated in 1933? You're going to have to prove that your family was a product of that. The government can't give you free gold or silver if your family was not a product of it, and they don't even have it at Fort Knox. So I'm ending with the video I began on. For you all that may have came in late, US dollar is over. Central bank's digital currency. The Chinese government told Putin that they are not accepting their commodities in United States dollar anymore. This video breaks down, they're just waiting on Saudi Arabia to join the BRICS nation. If you see BRICS in the background, you see Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Under this, it states Saudi Arabia and Iran may join. I'm telling you, they will join. And China's president said these are the biggest changes, right? The biggest changes that are coming after 100 years. A lot of people that have been robbed financially of their country's commodities, a lot of countries, including South Africa, which is the richest commodity country that there is about the wrong is about to be made right.
Putin announced this week that Russia will begin using the Chinese yuan for international payments instead of the dollar. Saudi Arabia is also in talks with Beijing to do the same thing. Speaking of Saudi Arabia, meanwhile, they're in talks with Iran as well to consider an economic alliance with China and Russia. And they can even be joining the BRIC countries, which is an acronym for these countries here, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. These countries all have emerging economies. So what happens if our economy and the U.S. dollar are no longer the world's dominant currency? Former Assistant Treasury Secretary and host of the Monica Crowley podcast, Monica Crowley, is here to weigh in. Monica, great to see you this morning. Let's start right there. What happens if these emerging economies move away from the U.S. dollar towards the Chinese yuan?
Well, good morning, Will. It's great to be with you. And it's really hard to overstate exactly how catastrophic the abandonment of the U.S. dollar would be as the world's global reserve currency. Look, since the end of World War II, the dollar has been the safe place to go, and it's been backed up by a couple of things. It originally was backed up by gold, but President Nixon took us off the gold standard, so there's no hard asset backing up the dollar anymore for the last 50 years. But also it's been backed up by the strength and economic power of the United States and the fact that oil has always been traded in dollars. If that were to end, that would mean the end of the U.S. dollar. Look, there is a perfect storm happening right now, Will. The world's reserve currency being that, having that status has been a real privilege, but we've abused the privilege by wholly reckless monetary and fiscal policies over many years, certainly over the last couple of years, which has really devalued the dollar. On top of that, now you do have this perfect storm of Biden's weakness, his war on American domestic energy production, the Ukraine war, and as you point out, because of all of these things, we've got America's enemies led by China forming a new economic bloc. And all it would take at this point now, because we're at this pivotal moment, Will, is for Saudi Arabia, who has indicated that they're open to this, to say, you know what, we're going to be open to considering other currencies to trade in oil. If that were to happen, there would be a complete implosion of the global economic system, but certainly the American economic system. And if that were to happen, you'd be looking at sky-high inflation, just raging Weimar Republic kind of inflation. If you think inflation is bad now, just wait. But more importantly, we would lose our economic dominance and we would lose our superpower status.
Monica.
As she said, you think inflation is high now? Just wait. Just wait. We lose our superpower. We lose our economic status. Saudi Arabia is already gone. They're saying that they're waiting on Saudi Arabia. Why do you think the government is announced that they're bringing out central banks digital currency in July? Why do you think these banks collapse have started happening? Why do you think they're saying that there are banks runs that's happening right now? It's already gone. It's already gone. It's already crashed. This came out in February. Is Saudi Arabia preparing for because why do you think that they will continue to, as other countries dump the US dollar, why do you think they'll continue to get their precious oil? Like, they're not going to be bullied by the United States anymore for their commodities, for the real wealth. And so are they preparing for the collapse? Yes. Right. The currencies they use now relies on the strength and the performance of the US dollar. And it says the dollar is backed by debt. The global trust in itself is delicate to the monetary system. The dollar, people, is not backed, but that's why I'm telling you the most crypto you need to have in your portfolios are those that are backed by commodities. This is what made the dollar strong, and this is what's going to make your financial future strong. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm doing another live stream tonight. You definitely want to join in. Thank you and welcome my new subscriber, Lady Di, I think. And everyone else, make sure you are subscribed. I'm doing a collaboration with some other men and women who's a global influencer who helps people globally as well get connected to these crypto-backed commodities so they can prepare for the greatest wealth transfer in this generation that ever happened ever happened in human experience. So again, it's 9 o'clock Central Standard Time, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You all hit that thumbs up button. Text CC if you want these crypto-backed commodities. Do not text that number. If you're going to ask me questions about your personal financial status, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not going to give you free financial advice. That's not the purpose of that number. It's for people who want to convert their cash before it crashes and return to zero into lifelong commodity-backed assets. That's the only reason why that number is on the screen. I'm not your fiduciary. I'm not your financial advisor. This is about business and business only. No LOLs, no nothing. I have a short amount of time to help a whole lot amount of people before central bank's digital currency comes into practice. Queen out.